In the late 1960s and early 1970s, a series of brutal murders struck the San Francisco Bay Area. The killer, who called himself the Zodiac, left behind cryptic letters, puzzles, and taunting messages that baffled authorities and terrified the public. Over 50 years later, the identity of the Zodiac Killer still remains a haunting mystery. But today, we're going to break down the chilling details and the terrifying code he left behind. Could we finally uncover his true identity? The Zodiac Killer's reign of terror lasted from 1968 to 1969, but his legacy continues to haunt us. From his chilling letters to the cryptic ciphers he sent to newspapers, every piece of evidence raised more questions than answers. And yet, despite decades of investigation, the true identity of the Zodiac Killer remains a cold case. In this video, we'll not only revisit the terrifying crimes of the Zodiac Killer, but we'll also break down the complex ciphers he sent and explore the theory that might just reveal his true identity. The Zodiac's first confirmed murders occurred on December 20th, 1968, when two teenagers, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, were gunned down near Vallejo, California. It wasn't until the following summer, July 4th, 1969, that the Zodiac struck again, this time targeting Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau. It was during this attack that the Zodiac would leave his first known piece of evidence, a chilling, taunting letter sent to local newspapers. The letter read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." These words sent shockwaves through the community, marking the Zodiac as a killer who was not just bloodthirsty, but also proud of his actions. He would go on to send more letters, some containing cryptic ciphers, each one more confusing than the last. But what made the Zodiac Killer even more terrifying was his need for attention. He wasn't just content with murdering. He wanted to make sure everyone knew it was him. He taunted the police and the public with his cryptic ciphers, signing off with his notorious symbol, a cross circle, and challenging authorities to decipher his messages. But despite several attempts, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remained elusive. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Zodiac Killer's legacy lies in his letters and ciphers. In total, the Zodiac sent at least 4 ciphers to local newspapers, each one more puzzling than the last. These ciphers were filled with symbols, numbers, and words that made no sense at first glance. One of the most infamous ciphers, known as the 340-character cipher, was sent in 1969. For years, it remained unsolved, frustrating investigators and cryptographers alike. But in December 2020, a team of amateur codebreakers finally cracked the code. And what did they discover? A chilling message that read, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber." This message provided a terrifying glimpse into the mind of the Zodiac, someone who seemed not only confident in his ability to avoid capture, but also taunting the police as he continued his killing spree. However, not all of his ciphers have been cracked. There's still one cipher, the 340-character cipher, that holds onto its secrets. Could it hold the key to the Zodiac's true identity? Over the decades, numerous suspects have been linked to the Zodiac Killer, but none have been definitively proven to be him. Some of the most notable suspects include Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester who had a history of violent tendencies. Others believe the Zodiac may have been a police officer or a military man with knowledge of codes and cryptography. Arthur Lee Allen was one of the most famous suspects. He had the right profile: a troubled past, a history of violence, and an obsession with the Zodiac ciphers. But despite extensive investigations, there was never enough evidence to charge him. Other theories point to a more complex scenario, one where the Zodiac was not a lone killer, but perhaps part of a network or someone with ties to law enforcement or the military. And then there's the possibility that he may still be alive, hiding in plain sight. In recent years, new advancements in DNA testing and genetic genealogy have rekindled hope of solving the Zodiac case. In 2021, a breakthrough came when investigators linked the Zodiac Killer to DNA samples found at crime scenes. Could this finally be the breakthrough we've all been waiting for? Some believe the killer was someone with a close connection to the victims, while others suggest a random, opportunistic killer. What we do know is that the Zodiac Killer left behind a legacy of terror, confusion, and unanswered questions. Could the latest DNA advancements finally give us the answers we've been searching for? Or will the Zodiac Killer remain an elusive ghost in our history? The mystery of the Zodiac Killer may one day be solved, but until then, his terrifying legacy will continue to haunt us. Who was the Zodiac Killer, and will we ever know for sure? Only time will tell. What do you think? Could the Zodiac Killer still be alive today? Do you have a theory about his identity? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more chilling mysteries. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.